you are still facing the felony charges from the incident that happened last summer. We're not here to litigate the case here.
Right.
But a big question that comes up with voters is, why doesn't she show remorse? Until recently, when you did a Facebook post in which you did talk about a lot of the case, but also reflect that, why did it take so long for you to publicly acknowledge at least remorse in that case? Because that's been the biggest thing that's probably happened on this. And the second part of that question, let me ask you, is that with this hanging over your head, the effectiveness of you if a trial comes along and you have your work at the same time and then you have your duties as city commissioner, what are you telling voters about, well, we don't know what may happen with you here? What are you telling voters to overcome that? So both of those, if you could address those now, and then we'll get to both of you gentlemen too.
So I was involved in an accident. As I've said all along, I'm innocent.
As I said, we're not going to talk about the case itself.
But, I was advised by my attorneys not to say anything. I tried to let the system work. It's too slow, and that's why I've come out now and started saying something. But I'm not indicted, and, there's a negative toxicology report. There's a breathalyzer that was...
Again,
I'm just saying...
I understand.
There's nothing
I think
there
it's
except
important.
an accident.
Yeah, I understand that, except that's, again, talking about the case. And
Right.
I know you would like to get that out. But this is specifically to the issues that address the voters about the public remorse, about why not an earlier statement, why the statement only come when you have two challengers in the race now at that point. Why did it wait until this long?
I was waiting for the system to work. And to me, we have a broken system, but that would be a whole nother interview topic of a different day. But, I was advised not to say anything, and that's what I did. Of course I'm remorseful. I mean, anyone who knows me knows that I wouldn't purposely go try to run over people on the side of the road. I got called out to work. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't stoned. I wasn't drunk. Nothing. There's no evidence that shows that.
And you should point out why you say you have not been indicted. It's not gone to the grand jury. You are charged, though.
I'm charged,
it's
but
a felony
not,
charge.
Right.
I just wanted to clarify for the record there. Commissioner Clawson, you early on was critical of Commissioner Haney staying on Commissioner's Court at the time. You still stand by those words you said early on last summer?
Well, let's look at those words, and they're about Commissioner Haney because that's the case before us. I'm sorry, that's the issue before us. My words were simple words. No one has the right to embarrass the city of Texas City. Myself, no one else. Any number of individuals, and I hate to use the term politicians, it's kind of overworked. Any number of individuals have struggled with life's personal issues. After all, we're human beings. That being said, but once you're in the public's eye, you represent the city. My statement was based on the fact that it was not Deanne Haney, who's an individual and has a right to struggle with her life as she will, but it was Commissioner Haney. My statement was also made because myself and the rest of the commissioners were sitting there facing you and the rest of those hostile cameras by ourselves. We sat there, and it wasn't Commissioner Clawson, it was an associate of Commissioner Haney. So my statement then is my statement now about myself or anyone else, about the President of the United States, the Governor of the state of Texas, whomever. No one has the right to embarrass the body that they represent. And that's what I felt about it, and that's why. And again, those were some hostile days where we sat there, and you've been a reporter. I'll come back at you. You talked about a retired police officer. You bet I've lived in the public eye all my life, all 40 plus years. And I understand the rules. And I also understand the reporters can be pretty rough. You guys can, much as you're being now, you guys can ask some tough questions as you must, as you feel you must. And myself, and I'll speak for myself, I was the guy sitting there in front of the camera where reporters are coming up and asked, do you smoke dope? I had some choice words, and none of them were ones that my mom would be proud of. let me lighten the moment just a
Right,
minute
and
if I
as I
might.
said,
Yeah,
let's keep it on
and-
the topic here.
Yeah, I'm staying on the topic, but that was the basis of my statement. Yes, I said it. Said it then, say it now. No one has a right to embarrass the institution that they represent. Still believe that.
Phil, I mean, it was a rough few days after that, but to be fair to Commissioner Haney, how has it affected city governance at all?
Well,
Are there things that haven't gotten done because of this issue?
shortly after the incident, as Commissioner Clawson was saying, there were TV cameras and crews that came from all over to the area to the city commission room. They set up in the chambers, and we had to face the cameras. And I said some words then. My response then is the same probably that it is now. And, you know, our hearts go out to all of those that were involved and their families. And I think that's still the case. Now, I'm not going to get into whether the district attorney has done anything or not done anything.
Right. I mean, as I say, again, we're not going to litigate the case here.
And my position on this all along has been, you know, I'm asking for people to vote for me because I feel like that I've done a good job for the city, and I want to continue doing that.
And I'll give you the final word on this, because I know you want to talk about the case and do that. And as I said, we wanted to keep it more of just kind of the impression of that. But if at any point did you consider stepping down? Seriously consider it?
No, not seriously, because I'm innocent. And so to me, if you just go and you step down, that gives the presumption of guilt. And in this country, we're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And just like Commissioner Clawson was saying, you know, the media and some of the law enforcement really jumped to some conclusions without having any factual evidence. And then once they found out I was an elected official, it's like, let's roll the snowball down the hill and let's go for it.
But what factually has been wrong reported?
Well, I wasn't impaired, number one. They had,
Well, to be fair, the affidavit says you were,
well, and
and that you admitted. I mean,
Yeah.
as I said, I mean, I know you say that you weren't. I mean, again, we're not going to litigate it,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, since you're bringing up the media, but what factually has been wrong? Because that is documented. What
Well-
factually has been wrong?
well, I was not impaired. I did a breathalyzer, 0.00 twice. There's a toxicology report that shows that I had no...
And that hasn't been reported?
Not all in one place.
Okay. I was going to say, just to be fair, I think it has been reported on the findings so far that's been out there. Again, not to litigate the case, but I wanted to give you the final word on that.
It's unfortunate I was involved in an accident. You know, that's kind of thrown a shadow over me. But again, you know, I'm innocent. I grew up here. I've spent my whole life here. I've spent the better part of my adult life giving back to the community, and I would like to continue to do that. And I just hope that people have the ability to understand what's really going on here and that they are thinking for themselves. And, you know, I'm not that this is part of the deal, but I'm kind of disappointed that my two opponents are kind of running as a team. And I don't know if you want to call it ganging up on me or whatever, but I've just never seen anything like that. And I want to keep all of this above board and clean and do whatever is best for the city. I think that's what we got to do going forward.